Hello viewers, welcome back to the second segment of the traditional ways of marriage in Zimbabwe. So in this segment, it's just going to be interesting because I'm going to be demonstrating just a few things so that you can just have a gist of how we do it. So to start with, we are going to talk about dressing. Dressing is a very big language. When you are visiting your in-laws for the first time, you mustn't wear trousers, you mustn't wear tight clothes, you mustn't wear bum shorts, you mustn't wear anything that is revealing. So you need to be careful on that depending on where you are going, because I know if it's your first time, your husband always will guide you on what to do, but this is what you do for the first time that you are going to visit your in-laws. So when you wear, you must wear a decent dress. So it doesn't matter you're wearing a decent dress, doesn't matter you're wearing a long dress. There is a cloth that you put on so that you cover your dress. And I think there were some of the reasons for putting on that cloth that we call Zambia is to make sure that your dress doesn't get burnt or to soil your dress again. Those are some of the reasons why they say put on a Zambia. So I'm going to show you how we do it. Oh yes. Yeah. And this, we call it a duke. A duke, you cover your head. You don't just go with your head uncovered. So you put on your duke. If you have got some jewelry, you don't have to cover it. I know some people are very much in love with their jewelry. So you can put on your duke like this. You can leave your earrings showing, doesn't matter. And then you put on this cloth. This is what we call a Zambia. So you put it on like this. Yes. Okay. So even if you're going to spend 1 week there, make sure you have got 3 or 4 Zambias that you take with and you take with you. Yeah. So the next thing that you do is you'll be sitting. So you don't just sit anyhow. You sit like this with your legs crossed. This is how you'll be sitting. Yeah, with your legs crossed like this. I'll tell you, I'll be frank with you, this was the very difficult part for me. Woo! Because my legs were sore. But then I'm grateful my mother-in-law noticed. And then she told me to sit like this. So you can also sit like this. Or you can sit like this. Yeah, okay. So this is usually done when you go to the rural areas. So chairs might be there, couches might be there, but if there are men around, you are not allowed to sit on the chair. You are allowed to sit on the floor. We do have what we call rukuke, maybe in English. Nowadays we've got carpets, but we've got our natural carpets that we have. You can use red carpet if you want, and reed as in tsanga. Those reed carpets are very nice also. They're very beautiful. I love them. Yes, or some people use cow's skins as carpets also. That's what they do. So it depends with where you are going. So yeah, the next thing is goat skin also. They are so beautiful. I love that. I love them very much. So the next thing is you are given some food to prepare for everyone who is there. So when you cook the food, remember you go with your sister. I went with my sister and my aunt. So we cook the food. When the food is ready, we don't dish up. We go to your mother-in-law. Remember I was saying everyone plays a big role in this process. So even my mother-in-law in this case, she plays a very big role. So when we are done with the cooking, we go to her. Let's just assume that she's sitting there. I just don't go and say, "Mommy, the food is ready," while he's standing. No, you don't do that. You kneel down and then you say, "Excuse me, ma'am, the food is ready." Then she will come with you to the kitchen. kitchen, and then she will show you how you dish up, because there are certain pieces of chicken which are supposed to be put in the father-in-law's plates, and those people who will be respected. So there are certain pieces which are supposed to be put. So when she's dishing up, I must be watching, because this is what I'm going to do now. When I'm married, I will be doing that, because she's not always going to come and dish up. There are days and times when you are going to cook and then you dish up, but then you must know which piece goes to who. So in our culture, chicken is different from pork or beef or any other meat that you can cook, because the pieces, when they are cut, they maybe they don't show that which part, because I may cut a T-bone in half and then I cook it like that. But the chicken, when I'm dishing it up to the in-laws, it shows how much I respect them. So you mustn't make any mistake of putting like a wing in your father-in-law's plate or in your mother-in-law's plate. That will show them that you are not respecting them, unless they tell you, because some people are very civilized people. They will tell you that, no, don't worry about me, and they will be meaning it. There are people who will be doing that so that they can test you, and then tomorrow you are on fire on that. But some people, they will be just civilized, and then they will tell you that. But chicken shows how much you respect people by giving them some certain parts of the chicken. So for instance, in Chipinge, the funny part of it, we'll be talking of a thigh and a leg that you give to the in-laws. In Chipinge, they want the gizzard. That's they respect. That's something that shows that you are respecting them. You give them a gizzard. These other parts, they don't mind. So that's why I said also it depends with where you are getting married to. But it's so exciting. It's just interesting. For interest's sake, so that we know. Right. So the other thing is you go and fetch firewood, because what happens is that when you're visiting them for the first time, it depends also. You can go for 2 days or 3 days. I think the maximum can be 3 days. So the other day you're going to fetch firewood. So you are expected to bring a bunch of firewood as big as this. But then that's something that they'll be looking at to show that you were groomed well. The size of the firewood that you bring, and the how big it's going to be, and yeah, that they will be looking at. Oh, okay, is this one a wife material? That's why you go and fetch firewood, and so that's something that they'll be wanting to check on that. Okay, okay, this one I know it's okay. This one is very hardworking. Okay, this one is like this. They might call you even a lazy person also by the things that you will be doing there. Yeah. So the other thing that we do again is you will go and fetch some water. You go to a certain place. There might be a well, but usually wells. I like water from the well. It's very, very tastes very nice. So you go and fetch some water. I've got a bucket here. So your bucket will be full like this. So you can just take it from there straight on your head. But some people complain that it's painful. So I've got this tube here. You make yourself what we call hata. Do it like this. It makes your bucket sit comfortable. Okay, put it like this. Put it on the sink again. So when you need to be careful when you are now getting your bucket. You have to do like this, and then lift up your leg, do this, and then you put your bucket on your head. So yeah, it's very comfortable when it's like this. So you walk now, you go home, and that what they'll be checking here when you're carrying this bucket is, are you spilling the water? Because some people, it will be for their first time. So when I'm walking, they'll be checking, is she spilling the water? Or maybe she's spilling for sure. It will be like this. It will be, oh my God. Oh my. That's what some people will be doing. So by the time you reach home, you will be wet, and remember your bucket was full. But now when you get home, it will be here. It's now half. But yeah, that doesn't disqualify you from getting married to the family, because maybe you are not used to it, so you will learn as time goes on. And the other thing that you need to be very careful with is this hatter. When you are putting your bucket down, you must lift it, lift it up, and then you put it down like this so that it won't drop in the bucket, because this water is for drinking. So if your hatter goes in there, then the water is not going to be, no one's going to drink that water. So I think that those are just a few things that will give you the gist of how we do it when we are visiting our in-laws for the first time. And remember, the dress code doesn't mean that you are just going not to wear your jean trousers on that day only. No, even in future you will still have to wear decently whenever you visit them. Those are the types and kinds of dressing that you may want. You can do them when you are at your own house, but when you're visiting your in-laws, you just need to dress decently, unless there are those ones also will be like, no, don't worry. And I remember some of the times you hear your mom-in-law saying, no, you can take off the Zambia, my daughter-in-law, you can take off your Zambia. And because they will be like, no, your father is not here. That's what they do. But the person maybe sometimes will be mostly respected here is the father-in-law. So they might say, your father is not here. I know you may not do this. You may sit on the couch, you may sit on the chair because your father is not here. But when the father is around, then they will tell you to do this. So she's very important also in this process. So yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. Remember to share, comment, and subscribe.